Welcome back, everybody, to the Beantown Boys podcast. Once again, my name's Leo Brown, and I'm joined by Dylan Heward and Kobe Sawyer. We're going to get right into it, folks.
Hockey's back, baby.
Well, no, we're not getting into that.
That wasn't the first.
No, you moron.
Calm down.
Okay.
Take the steroids out of your system, all right?
Okay. I'm cool.
All right.
I'm cool.
Yeah, we clipped that a little bit there. So I turned it down, so we're hopefully good now. We're going to get into Mahomes. The fuck? So everything that I saw in like headlines, it said 503, but the actual extension is 450 million. And then there's 25 mil of incentives, and it also includes, in the headline, they're including the 27 that he's making for the next 2 years. So it's a $450 million extension.
You can buy an entire football team with that goddamn contract.
He can buy several NHL teams.
It is outrageous.
I mean, assuming he has the money all in one pool, which he won't have. But
He could buy me.
the contract structure is
Nobody wants
actually
that.
pretty smart. They're scaling it up over the course of the years that it's existing. So as the cap goes up, his amount of money he's making is also going to go up. So they're trying to work with the cap, even though his money is going to be so high.
Because once when I saw that 10-year, at first I was like, all right, are they going to make it a reasonable amount so they can keep him for a long term and still bring in big names and keep their big name players? And then once when I saw that 500 mil, I was like, yeah, they're just looking to build around him no matter who.
Yeah, I mean, if you have Patrick Mahomes, who's the most talented quarterback in the league, people are going to take pay cuts to get fed the ball by him.
But
And
we
even
don't
if
know.
they don't, he makes worse players look better.
Yeah.
We don't know. It's been 3 years he's been in the league. We don't know how he's going to 100% turn out. Yes, he won a Super Bowl.
And an
Look
MVP.
at Aaron and an MVP. Look at Aaron Rodgers. Only one Super Bowl still. Won an MVP, I think. I swear he's won an MVP.
Professor Google, what do you think?
And you never know what injuries are going to come to you. Definitely if you can't build the offensive line around you because you spent all your money on Patrick Mahomes.
If you can't have an O-line, just roll out. There it is.
See? And he can move.
And he already
too.
has ankle injuries.
Yeah, but have you not also seen him take a hit? Bounce right back up?
Later down the line, he will start getting injured more.
He has two.
He has 2 MVPs.
He has two.
I knew he had. I knew he had some type of MVP.
But, like, he's the most talented quarterback in the league, and you have Andy Reid now. I mean, that contract might outlive Andy Reid. He might retire. You know what I mean? Because he looks older. I don't know how old he
Or
is.
drop dead of a
I think
heart
he's in
attack,
his
who knows?
60s.
So he's like Belichick range.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
but I think he's been in the league. Maybe I could be wrong. Longer than Bill,
No, I don't know.
but
Walruses live a long time. You know what they say?
you have Dak over here looking for 100 mil, just 100 mil for a quarterback.
I
You're
wouldn't even
feeding-
give that guy a steak dinner.
He's
How
not-
about Deshaun?
Watson?
Yes,
I like him.
he's not getting paid either.
I think he's better than Dak Prescott. If I was Dak Prescott, I'd ask for $1 million and be happy with it.
There's Jared Goff that brought your team to a Super Bowl. Who's
That
not
guy
getting paid much.
is terrible. That guy is terrible.
But like, yeah, even when he was in the Super Bowl, he didn't look that good. I mean, the team around him was very good. It wasn't him. I mean, clearly it wasn't him because they didn't score a touchdown.
Neither did the Patriots.
A 42-year-old quarterback.
Didn't they
looked better
score
than he
one
did.
at the end when the game was already over?
They ran it in.
Yeah.
Brady didn't throw it. One of the greatest quarterbacks didn't throw it, but
And yet he still looked better.
Yeah,
than Jared Goff.
he had a good game. I thought. Brady looked good. Goff looked
Edelman
okay.
made him look better. That's why he was the MVP of that game. But
I mean, it doesn't get much better looking than Edelman, not going to lie.
well, if when he
Still
trims the
looking bad.
beard, he doesn't
Yeah,
look like
exactly.
a snowman.
Hey, man.
no.
And unlike me, that guy
Hey,
can
Talking a
grow
little
some nice
smack
facial
over there?
hair.
Talking a little smack?
Why don't you say it to his face, Dylan?
Talking a little schmack? Huh?
I'm sorry. don't let the beard grow out that much. You
Don't
look like
tell
that.
me how to live
you
my
look
life.
like that guy.
You're just upset that
You
you
look-
can grow a nice beard.
You look like
That's
that
what it
guy
is.
from the
Yeah, you're
Rudolph,
jealous.
like the Rudolph, that big guy.
I appreciate it because I can't grow facial hair.
See, there it is.
But I can't, he can. So I'm just saying.
You're just mad that he grows a better beard than you do.
He's also 30-something years old. I hope he can.
I'm not 30 something.
Not you. Not you.
You act like it.
Rude ass. Jeez.
Jeez, we're talking about Edelman over here, not you. You can't catch a ball like Edelman.
He is Julian Edelman. You didn't know?
You wish you can catch a ball
Have you
like
seen
Edelman.
me run routes?
You wish you can catch a ball like
Best
Edelman.
route runner in the league, dude.
I'm better than Edelman, all right? Take a step back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I bet.
You've never seen my slant,
Yeah.
all right?
You never
I
seen
got a
his
mean
post
slant.
route, okay?
I got a mean deep post.
Exactly.
Mean deep post.
You can get hit by Ray Lewis and get bounced right back up, then you can dog.
Hey,
No. You see?
I don't
He doesn't
get
get hit because when someone tries to hit him, they fall down.
yeah, I don't get hit.
He delivers the hit.
Lower the shoulder, baby.
Exactly.
I'm ready for you.
The reverse
I'm already
hit.
ready. I'm not even looking.
After this one-on-one board
I'm
drills,
not even
let's see what
looking.
happens.
I'm
all
not
right?
even looking and I'm ready. Not even looking. I don't have to look.
No
I got
need.
radar.
Exactly.
One
I'm a
for one
shark.
board drills. Calling
Someone's
it.
coming and he's just got beep, beep, beep right in his head.
Let's
There
get
it
that.
is.
Let's get that video up and ready. One-on-one board drills.
You never seen my film, Dylan?
Yeah.
You never seen my film?
Seen it?
I haven't gone through the dumpster in a while.
Claimed noted football guy Dylan Hewitt hasn't seen my film. Can you believe that?
I haven't
Wow.
gone through the dumpster in a while.
Wow.
That's for you.
That's why I haven't
That's
seen
for
Tony
your-
Romo's clips in a while.
Imagine,
Listen
bro.
here, Mr.
Mr.
GL
Long
Tech
Snapper.
Long Snapper.
Oh, boy.
Defensive end too, but you know,
okay.
What?
Like you can
One string?
finesse off the
No.
edge. Get the fuck out of here.
I could. Surprisingly, nobody could stop the spin.
You can.
Of
spin.
course, I could get the gravitational pull away
Dylan,
to get in, but
Dylan,
I got.
You weren't spinning. You were rolling on the ground. There's a
No,
difference.
I was spinning on the
He
net.
really brings the actual definition to rolling on the ground laughing.
There it is. Dude, you gotta watch my film, man.
There's no film.
Dude,
There's
who do you
plenty
think
of film.
showed Odell how to one-hand catch? See?
See,
The sticky little gloves that he has.
Nope, he showed him.
dude, I don't wear gloves.
Not you.
He
I
catches
don't
them
wear
with
gloves.
his teeth.
Yeah.
He catches football.
That makes
Give me
sense.
that. I eat
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, that makes
There
a
it
lot
is,
of
man.
sense now.
I eat them.
Is that allowed? Like, if you're
If you can catch it with your legs.
If you can catch it with your mouth, I'm impressed. With the mask,
well, like you can have the face mask thing that has like no bars, like very
not
little
really.
bars.
You cannot fit a full football. The
Oh,
bars
hang
are
on, though,
right
hang
there,
on, though,
and the
hang
ball
on, though,
goes
hang
right
on,
there.
though, hang on, though. If it gets lodged, it's like you don't have to wear a visor, do you?
No, but a visor
Okay.
usually helps because of all the lights.
So, if it gets lodged in between your face mask and your helmet, is it a catch?
If you come down with full possession of it and it doesn't bobble, yes. We don't know what a catch is in the NFL right now.
You really don't.
We really don't.
As long as
we
you
got the-
have full possession and
You
it
know-
doesn't shake.
No, dude. You know what we'll have to do? Hang on. I'll have to go get myself a contract and show them what a catch is, right? Hey,
Exactly.
I don't know. I don't know if it'll be a catch
dude,
because it's
dude,
very
Could you imagine?
picky.
Could you imagine a 1-2 punch? Hollywood and me. Sorry, me and Hollywood. Sorry, me and
I was
Hollywood.
gonna say, you're really
Yeah.
gonna put yourself.
I'm sorry,
through
Hollywood. Don't imagine
Bro,
that one.
Bro, no. So like you said, we really don't know what a catch is as long as you have full possession. I guarantee you, someone could be running a route, not even looking. They just clench their cheeks and catch that ball. That's a catch.
Yeah,
Dude, me and-
it's a catch
dude.
if you catch it between the legs.
Dude, me and Hollywood, we're gonna have a battle or see how many laterals we can get after the catch before we go into the end zone. All right, that's what we're gonna
The
do.
whole thing's just gonna be like Frogger. It's just gonna be a match of Frogger.
There it is, man. There it is.
I don't even want to imagine that matchup.
Oh, dude, it's a
You'd be
matchup
burnt.
nightmare. They can't even.
You'd be
they,
burnt.
they can't cover us.
They'd
It's a
give
matchup
up.
nightmare.
They'd give up. They'd
I
just-
put.
They would.
I
they'd
put
roll out
Gilmore
the red
on you.
carpet.
I
They'd
put
roll out
Stephon
the
Gilmore on you. You'd
He
be
wouldn't
done.
You know what I would do to Gilmore? I'd stiff arm him. Okay, Stephon
I'd put
Gilmore. more like
prime
Stephon
time
Gilmore.
Darrell Reeves
I
There it is.
see that. Oh,
Fuck outta here.
You can't do anything now. You've been got. You got.
That's what happened, man. I mean, it's okay.
on. Read a rule
We'll
book.
talk about it.
Read a rule
Everybody
book.
gets stiff armed here and
Yeah,
there.
you know it happens.
Sometimes you just catch a mean stiff arm. There's nothing you can do.
You can only have contact with a defenseman and a receiver up to 5 yards.
Okay, and
So if you're going for the deep ball laterals, you're not going to be able to push it off.
You know what they say? If you're not cheating, you're not trying.
That will be a flag and it doesn't count.
Who said the part of the cheating was a little conversation before the game with the stripes?
He's paying the zebras off.
That's what happened in that
I
Saints
know a
game.
couple guys, all right?
That was clean. That was clean. He did not have a full extension off. He did a little push. As long as there's no extension. If you watch, it depends on how far the extension goes. Him, he's talking about full on stiff arm.
You don't even know what I'm talking about.
Maybe
you haven't watched
it's a
the
half
film.
stiff arm. Maybe it's a half stiff arm.
You don't even know
There
what
is
we're
no
talking about.
film.
You haven't seen it, so how do you know?
I have zero vision, and I've seen it.
He's seen the film.
What's your excuse, huh?
He's seen the film.
He's
Exactly,
just
I've
seeing
seen it.
things.
He's seen the film.
Nope.
You see those glasses that picks up
I may
TV
not-
on that thing.
I
That's
may
how
not
thick they are.
have. I may not have very good vision, but I see reality.
Sometimes, man, you come up with something. We were in the video room. All right, we were drawing up shit.
I had my Google Glass ready to go.
There. Google Glass. There it is. man.
Moneyball over here.
Oh boy. So, your homework this week
There's no
to
film.
is to watch the
Study
film.
the film.
There's
Yeah,
no film.
I'll send you the film. I'll send it to you. I shouldn't have to.
Dude, you play with the Argonauts.
It's on the trending page on YouTube.
I swear to God, if I get a video of you playing Madden, I'm going to lose my mind. Playing wide receiver in Madden. See, I told you I can hold it.
Dude, my route running's way better than yours.
Guy runs
right?
in and just mosses a receiver.
I hope you can run better routes than me. I'd break my ankle just turning left.
I mean, in Madden, you moron. I've seen those sticks. I've seen them. Tell you to run a post. You're running.
Wait until 20. Wait until 21.
What's going on?
Wait until 21.
No. The game doesn't change your route running skill. The game doesn't change that.
Passing's better than running. All the running are equal this year, all
You
right?
can still run the same route in every single game.
21's got like Google Maps. Tells him how to run a post during the play.
Oh, what is it? The on-ice trainer. He has the on-field trainer on, telling him how to run the
You'll
route.
be sure. You got your Ravens, and now my Patriots got a mobile quarterback this time.
And you'll still lose.
Yeah, you still lose. Don't matter. Don't matter.
You can't stop
matter.
the run game.
Don't matter.
It matter.
Dude, the Ravens got a 1-2 punch at running back now. What are you going to do? They got a 1-2 punch. They only had, well, actually, no, they got a 1-2-3 punch because first is Lamar.
1, 2, 3, 4. You're forgetting RG3. All right?
It's true. And you know what? Actually, it's a 1-2-3-4-5.
Where's the 5? Oh, Hollywood?
There it is.
Hollywood.
On the
All
jet
right.
sweep. Gotta look out.
No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Because my man Leo's there. Too.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, there it is. There it is.
See?
There it is.
And he's won.
He's watched the film.
Don't forget that.
He's watched the film. He knows what's going on.
Damn right.
You got to watch the film, though.
I think I did see the film once, but I just saw you running out on the field giving them water.
That wasn't the film.
You sure that wasn't?
That was your film.
You sure that wasn't you?
That was
I'm
his high
sure.
school
Oh
career.
no, you know what he was? He was getting carted off the field. That's what it was. My
You
bad.
know, after tripping over the line of
Oh,
scrimmage,
okay,
I
no,
think
yeah.
it's all
No.
his memory.
Yeah, you know that's what
Fumbles.
happens. It's a CTE.
Still got the sack, still got the fumble. All right.
Yeah. So anybody who doesn't know,
Still,
I did not trip. You cannot trip over the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, you did.
You can't.
How'd you trip
It's
over the line?
impossible.
How'd you do it
It's an
then?
invisible line.
And how'd you trip over it?
we've watched the film. Film
No,
don't
you
lie.
haven't.
The film
My
don't
own
lie.
teammates
Guys
haven't
out here
came
looking
to see
like
the
Daniel
film.
Paye tripping over the blue line.
The film don't lie.
Christ.
What happened was Dylan got a little excited. He was, he was gearing up. He was ready for the play, ready for that snap. Quarterback said, "Blue 42." Dylan's wood. That.
And there it is.
And it was on 2. It was on 2. So that wasn't actually the snap. So Dylan got a little excited. And he tripped to the line of scrimmage.
No.
Tore his ACL out for the season.
See, now what the
It
true
happened.
thing was, A, there's no film because it was a JV game.
We told the truth.
B, I went back
Who are
there.
you going to believe? The man who shan't be wrong or the
man that is wrong?
The man that gets corrected?
The man that thinks there's an actual line of scrimmage that
And-
you can see on the field.
How are you going to disprove the man that's watched the film? I mean, I've watched
There is no film.
I've watched the film.
My teammates wanted to see the film
You
to have
couldn't even
see my
figure
knees
out-
get popped
You
out.
couldn't even figure out what the third slider was. How are you going to figure out what the right film is?
There it is. There it is, man.
I got up, I went in, the quarterback started running. My fat ass actually caught up on him.
I picked things up, I put
Fumbled the ball, went for the ball, and my teammate pushed his kneecap into my kneecap.
Nope.
That's how I got injured.
We heard the truth from a reliable source. Multiple reliable sources.
No multiple results. He's the only one that said it.
No. Nick Sheridan
Yep.
and Matt Farrell.
Yep.
Reliable sources.
First off,
Confirmed it for us.
Matt wasn't even on the team.
Confirmed it for us.
So he had the best view.
Exactly.
He wasn't even there.
You.
He wasn't even on the team.
How do you know?
You just don't.
How do I was on the team for 4 years.
But you're busy on the ground, so how do you know?
Yeah.
Because I know my teammates.
You were busy being Peter. Meanwhile, he's sitting there and he's like, that man really just tripped over the line of scrimmage.
And you know what he was doing? He had one of those VHS tape recorders.
Exactly.
Oh, sorry.
He was
Hit
pulling
the
a
mic.
Patriots. He was pulling a Patriots on the Bengals.
Yep. So he had a giant camera unit.
Y'all wouldn't even
And he had,
last
like,
a day in
He
football.
had 6
Wouldn't
VHS
last a
tapes.
day.
Dude, I was the best running back in the league, okay?
That's why
I
you got
watched the
stopped
film.
by me most of the time?
I watched the film.
I was the best running back.
I
in the league.
watched
You
the
were
film.
stopped by me
You know
most
how
of the
many
time.
yards I was averaging?
0 because the coach never really gave you the ball?
I was averaging at least 250 yards a game.
Until I showed up
And that's what the
stopped
film
you.
says.
At least.
That's what the film says, and the film don't lie.
It doesn't.
See,
Lock
Dylan
the
hasn't
D-man.
watched the film, so he doesn't know.
Yeah, just keep living in your imagination,
Dylan
boys.
lives in an alternate reality where he's
Yeah.
like, you know,
Where there's no film.
it's no such thing as film. Where he's healthy.
Just count my championships, buddy. You got 0.
I don't see any
You got
rings on those
0.
fingers, bro.
I don't think Pee Wee's gonna give me rings.
Then there's no proof that you won.
I got the trophies.
Nope. I don't see any.
You know what film I haven't been able to find?
Please enlighten me.
The film where Dylan gets a ring.
Ah, there
Haven't
it is.
seen that film.
There it is.
Haven't seen it.
Don't get rings unless you're in high school.
Anyways. Back to the subject that we should be talking about.
Oh, thank you. That reminds me. Now, I've seen some film in my day.
Yes.
You know what the film says about Mahomes? He's worth the contract.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
That's what the film says.
I've been saying that since before we signed the contract, okay?
Yeah. I mean,
And like I said, I see reality.
now, Dylan,
Early.
what does your film say about Mahomes?
Wait, he doesn't believe in film.
No, but it's like a.
I fucking believe in film, you dipshit.
Well, you haven't watched it.
Yeah.
I don't watch the imaginary ones.
It's not imaginary.
I've seen the tapes.
Exactly.
I've seen them.
Anyways.
We ain't talking about the point-up tapes you watch. We're talking about
It's a
football
tape.
tapes.
Whoa.
Hey, a tape's a tape, bro.
Tape's tape. It's got tape.
Mark Savard got tape.
He's got tape.
Keep it tight, keep it simple.
I love how he says that every video. Oh, man. What do you think about the contract there, young Hubert?
It's still, like, yes, he's a Super Bowl winner, and he's an MVP, but I do feel like you should have waited to let his contract go out first to see if there was any injuries or change in his play the last 2 years.
So he wants more money afterwards?
He could that could have worked out for him because he could have been getting more money because the salary cap went up.
If you're Mahomes, how old is he?
24, I think.
You really think he's not going to chase a bag?
Check that. Let's see if I'm wrong.
I think you're right.
No, I think he's like 24.
I was gonna say
I think
24.
he's like 23, 24, because that would make a little bit of sense.
There it is.
24?
There it is. 24 years old.
You're
who shaped
24
your arm?
years old. You just won a Super Bowl. You got Super Bowl MVP. So, what's next? What else do you have to prove other than make a boatload of money?
Yeah, I mean, the team's going to
The
be...
same thing that Brady did, go out and get records.
Who gives a- If the team comes
You're
to you,
out to be the best
your-
player on that field
If your team
ever.
comes to you
Dylan,
and says, hey,
Hang on.
do you want this contract?
hang on. The records take time. That's going to be a while.
And he'll get it.
Yeah, the record he's focused on is looking at that 6 and trying to make his 7. That's his current record.
His
that he
record-
You
wants
don't
to
do that
defend.
when you take most of the salary cap out
His
of your
record-
team.
His record.
Brady Brady, the best quarterback in the league, never got a fat contract like
There's
that
two
until
schools
now.
of thought,
That's a
though.
choice.
There's two
To build a
schools
team around him.
Hang on. There's two schools of thought. Either you take the cut and hope your management can bring in the guys
which they proved,
and evenly pay. Or there's the other school of thought where, yeah, I'm going to make my money because I'm worth it. And people are going to take pay cuts to play with me. Because here's the thing, though. Brady.
not a lot of people are willing to do pay cuts.
Brady's a really, really good quarterback when he was in his prime. But he wasn't the most talented athlete on the field. And we know that. Mahomes, well, unless Tyreek is on the field, is the most talented player on the field at any given moment. So because of that, people are going to take pay cuts to come play with him.
I'll see. Let's see how
effect,
interesting
man.
it is. I'd love to see
It is
how
a
it goes
McDavid
with,
effect.
And look, if your team comes up to you...
I'd say the Crosby effect because he's done it forever.
Yeah. If your team comes up to you and goes, hey, you want this contract? And it's a fat contract, are you going to go, no, I think I'm going to reduce my salary? I think that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
No. If I came up to you and said, hey, I'll give you $100 to just come here and record a podcast, are you going to say, no, I'll do it for free?
No.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean...
If you're offered a fat contract, you're in zero position to say no.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things, especially... excuse me.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's not on Mahomes. It's on management. You got your first Super Bowl, your second Super Bowl after 50 years.
They want their star.
You want your Super Bowls.
How do you keep your star player from leaving?
You want to catch up to the Pats and the Steelers with the 6?
Yep.
Yeah, but see,
get the players that will build around that.
Here's the thing, though, Dylan. First off, move farther away from the mic because we've talked about this. You're a loud guy, and you get really close to the mic. They got 2 years.
You don't need to Riley read it, bro.
They got 2 years of cheap Mahomes.
Not anymore.
Nope. They have 2 years to cheap Mahomes. He's got 2 years left on his current deal, and then the extension kicks in. So he's got 2 more years to cheap Mahomes. Who says they don't win 2 more? Excuse me. My voice is dying today. Who says they don't win 2 more?
Find out when Watkins and their both wide receivers' contracts end. And Kelsey, because I think Kelsey's is ending soon, and he's in the old age.
Really 31. Wish they had.
Yeah, he's 31. That's
NFL
getting
version
up there in age for a tight end who goes out and blocks and catch.
He's already getting bank, so what's saying that he doesn't
walk out?
What's keeping him from taking a pay cut?
If this website wants to work and give me what I want. Tell me what I want.
Sorry, that's how it goes. If you're an older guy and you've been in the league a while, take the pay cut if you really want to win that bad. If you're a younger guy, make your money.
He's won.
Make your money.
It's the opposite way. You go out when you're older and you have a ring. You go out and you make your money. When you're younger, you go out and get that ring.
All right. So who do you want me to look up?
Watkins and Hill.
Sammy
Hill
Watkins.
Got that extension, didn't he?
I don't remember.
He expires. He's expiring after next season.
So if you don't have the money to sign him, because of that.
But you also have McCole Hardman, who's very good. And then
who says Tyreek doesn't walk out and go to another team and get the bigger money?
Trade him beforehand.
Where's
That'd be a fool on them. They would have. They need him this season.
If they know they can't re-sign him,
if you can still use him for that one.
Depends what the return is. What?
Yeah.
All right, I must have missed him. Hang on, let me go back through the list here.
I think Watkins is coming up too, and he's not that young.
Missed him. Yeah, they got Tyreek until 2023.
Exactly. I knew they extended him.
Yeah.
So Watkins is the end of this year?
Yeah, so you have...
and McCole Hardman can replace that easily.
Yeah, he's very good.
I like Watkins. I think he's a good receiver, but if he wants to get paid money, he can go.
And you have Kelsey for 2 more years, and he's an older guy, so...
He'll be
33 by the time that ends.
He's not gonna be like, oh, I want top money. And if he does, then leave. Please. Go get hurt.
Yeah,
go make that contract.
Yeah, I mean, it's Andy Reid's. Oh, do they have a GM that actually does stuff, or is it just Andy Reid?
I think they have a GM. I think Bill's really the only person because he doesn't like working with other people. He wants to be the person that runs it.
Who knew? I had no idea. I thought he was a real team player.
Exactly, man.
He wants the team that he knows that will work, not a GM that sits. Let's put this in perspective. The goddamn Jets. Gates did not want Le'Veon Bell, but the GM said, well, we'll give him all our money in free agency to go sign that running back that you really don't need.
He's super young, or young looking.
He is young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's, up to him and Andy Reid because they have to communicate. That's their job, is to communicate with each other and be on the same page. It's up to those two to consistently bring in players who will take a pay cut to play with Mahomes. And then it's up to them again, well, Andy Reid this time, to coach the team to keep winning until he retires, obviously, or gets fired. But I don't think it's going to happen.
Or you do the Pittsburgh Penguins type of theory, and that's bring in serviceable guys and draft the guys that are good enough to play with your top-tier talent.
Yeah, I mean, drafting's super important, and obviously they're not that bad at it. I mean, they drafted Hardman, I believe. And, really bringing in receivers shouldn't be that difficult with the way that they run an offense, because the way they run their offense is just speed. So if you bring in speed...
As long as you can catch the ball and you can run fast, you're all set.
Yeah, I mean, that's how they've played their game.
Chris Hogan could probably succeed there.
He's done it for Brady, so yeah.
Like, watching the Super Bowl, when they weren't doing well, it was because they were straying away from the speed. They were trying to do, just
because that's all they really got is speed.
And they won a Super Bowl off of it, so obviously it works. Speed is one of those things where if the defense physically does not have it, there's nothing you can do. Because
you just got to hope you don't have an old defense against them, because you need younger guys to pair up against the young, fast receivers and tight
there's
ends.
young, slow guys too. I mean, that exists. So, I mean, because if you have a slow secondary, yeah, you can back them off, but then they're just going to run at you until you back up, and then they'll stop. Or run an out route, come in, do something. Or that really weird route on Jet Chip Wasp. That plays crazy. Looks like a post and then it turns into a corner. Really? That's just rude.
They use their speed, but you also have Watkins and Hill, who are very shifty as well and can turn on a dime.
Yeah, I mean, they're not just speed. They have good route running, too. I mean, that's what the film says, boys.
Hill can make it look like he's running right at you. Next thing you know, he does like 2 movements with his hips and his feet, and you're on the ground. Yeah. Bye.
Now, there is talks about, or not talks, there's 2 trade requests that's been coming up this week. Njoku wants out of Cleveland.
I don't know who that is.
He is a young talent. He was drafted out of University of Miami.
My response is, would you want to be in Cleveland?
He wants to leave because they just signed Hooper for a big contract, so he knows he doesn't want...
Okay, but even still, would you want to be in Cleveland?
I mean, they have good pieces.
They would have had 2 tight ends if Njoku didn't say, I want out.
Jamal Adams is still adamant about leaving.
Well, maybe he knows something...
No, he wants to leave.
I don't know how the Browns play, but maybe they don't play a style that's really going to utilize 2 tight ends well, and he wants to be on the field, so maybe he just doesn't trust that they're going to put him on the field.
That would have been a good team with Hooper and Njoku. Baker, if he can actually perform 100% throughout the whole season.
The cunt punter himself, Kareem Hunt.
And double running back, Nick Chubb.
Yeah, that's terrifying.
And then Odell and Jarvis.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good offense.
That's a good offense that couldn't perform last year. Well, now that they added Hooper.
I mean, Baker's young, though.
Baker's young, but he's
in his own head, I think.
Yes. He's having the Manziel effect.
He's the only reason why he's playing bad. I feel like if he clears his head, clears his thoughts, and gets a coach that he can agree with and communicate with,
yeah,
then he'll play
Who's
a
that
lot
coach?
better.
I feel like trust is a big thing with quarterbacks and coaches. Like, if you don't have that, then you're not going to be successful.
Who did they sign? I forget who they signed. Can you find that out? Because I know they fired the coach after one season.
Who did the Browns sign? What do you mean? Like
their coach?
Oh, okay.
Who else? I know the players that one. They're not much players want to go to Cleveland.
Well, while he does that,
Mozart. Moser wants to get traded.
Kevin Stefanski.
Young coach, I think.
The film says it, dude.
This is Professor Google this time. Nah, he's like mid-40s.
Nah, young for coach. Mozart wants to get traded because you said it because they couldn't get into a contract extension.
They couldn't agree on not really an extension, just more a restructure. I assume he wants more money in the restructure, and they want to restructure so they can save money. And he's like, okay.
This...
Now, how do trade requests work in the NFL? Like, do you actually have to move him, or is it just, I want out?
No, you don't. Like, in the NHL, if someone requests a trade, you do have to move them.
Yeah.
That's how that one works.
No, football
in the NFL,
can say...
You can just say, okay,
and
screw you.
Yeah.
That's what happened with Bell. He wanted to get traded because he didn't get his contract extension. He just sat out the whole season.
Bruh.
He sat out his whole franchise tag. And they could have... The funny thing is, they could have franchise tagged him again.
And wasted money.
And
He just sit out again.
No, because he doesn't get the money. It's in his contract that he has to play. He missed out on $110 million.
Well, then he clearly...
Moron.
Was no crap.
That just shows how much he didn't want to be there then.
No, he didn't want to be franchise tagged.
Yeah. Because he wants to go out and make his own money. He doesn't want to play. If you don't want to be franchise tagged by a team, you don't want to play for that team.
I mean, I get it because running backs have a very short life in the NFL, so they want to make sure they get their money. But he burned a year in his career. That's not smart.
He could have proved something because he didn't really do that good with the Jets.
Or there's another way of looking at it. He could have played, got hurt, and he's done, and it was a one-year deal. Two ways of looking at it. He obviously took the cynical route. It's quite clear that he did.
Yeah.
I mean, you really can't blame him for what he did. He'd rather play it safe, not make money, and then go and make money.
Yeah, I mean, that's the way running backs have to conduct themselves is you have to make sure you're getting that term. And you're getting that money.
It's not like he just...
Especially, you need to make sure your money's largely guaranteed.
No, the way that I look at it with Mozart, he wants to get traded. If the Niners are smart enough, they go out and say, all right, we just got a good running back out of it in the trade during the draft anyways. We'll trade you and we'll go and get a wide receiver that we really need to help Garoppolo because we just lost our star receiver. Our second star, because that rookie last year was coming up. And you can either hope that the Browns can make a mistake again, like they usually do, and try to trade Mozart in a first.
Or, because I don't think the Browns really need another running back, I'd like to see him go to the Texans.
But what receiver are you going to get out of that? They need a receiver. I was going to say Odell wants out anyway, so you trade the two people that want out to the other team. And there's been talks about Odell and the Niners.
We saw the price for D-Hop.
Yeah, well, that's just Bill O'Brien being Bill O'Brien.
No, I know, but he's still there. He's still running the Texans, right?
Surprisingly.
Now, is it Phils or Fells the fifth? What the hell's that guy's name?
Stills?
Stills. There we go. Yeah. It was
Stills
ILS.
No, the fifth. He's the fifth.
The fifth, yeah.
No, fourth. Stills the fourth.
No, there's a
it's
guy.
IV. Stills IV.
No, I'm pretty sure he's a V. Let's see.
It's like
and he got traded from
That was a V. Hang on.
I swear it's IV because I remember looking at that because it used to be just Stills because he used to be over in Miami. And a trade that I wouldn't mind, but it's not going to happen because they already traded their running back to the Dolphins. Would be Mozart for and you give it like a first and a third and send it down and get
Oh no, I'm talking about Will Fuller.
Oh, you're thinking of Fuller. I'm thinking about Stills. Kenny Stills is really
Fuller's he's a speedy guy.
He's a speedy guy, but I'd rather have Stills, Kenny Stills.
So, yeah, but see, here's the thing though.
Stills is younger and faster.
I mean, we saw the price for D-Hop, and it wasn't what it should have been. So you can probably get a good trade out of Bill O'Brien again.
I still don't even know how he has a job because he lost Kansas City in a bad way because they had a 24-0 lead.
Hear me out.
Yeah, okay, but they had the lead, but the lead was off of very fluky things. So it wasn't off of the fact that they're
and then they did very
outplaying.
Fluky things because they made bad calls. Who the hell was it? I think an onside kick in the third. In the third.
I mean, hey,
high risk, high reward.
Yeah,
There was no high reward out of it.
yeah, because they fucked it up.
If you get it back, you have potential to up your lead. If you don't get it back, uh-oh.
Lock up on D.
Oh no! And then there was a go for it on 4th and 12, I think, as well.
Yeah, but where were they?
On their zone.
Where were they?
They were in their own zone.
Yeah, but where on the zone?
I think it was like the 30.
Okay, but I was gonna say if it was their like own 47.
No, I think it was like 30 or 40 yard line.
If it's their own 47, I'm like, all right, yeah, sure.
No. It was that bad. Bill O'Brien is a joke of a coach. He really is.
I feel bad for Deshaun. I mean, he's a beast. He'll make them look good anyways. It'll be
Sadly, like, if I was Deshaun, I would leave after his contract's up this year, but they could still franchise tag him.
fine. Doesn't he have to accept the
will.
franchise tag or no?
He can't go, if they franchise you can't go anywhere.
So
But you don't have to play.
but-
Like, that's what...
Okay, so he might just sit out and just like
Exactly, that's
mess
what...
around.
That's what Le'Veon did.
Well,
Yeah.
props to Le'Veon, though. It's not like he just sat down and was like, well, I'm just gonna,
Well, he
sit
started...
here. He was working out every day. He was still practicing, and he was staying in game shape.
He created a lot of locker room turmoil out of that, because they all started turning on each other and hating that he wasn't there, and people are blaming other people of why they weren't winning.
Well, that's on those people, not Le'Veon.
Yeah, and that's on management to fix it. It's like, hey, look, I wanted these things.
Like, they
You
looted...
didn't give them to me. I told you this would happen. Why are you surprised this is happening?
He didn't show up, and they looted his locker.
Okay.
Like, that's how bad it was.
Why does he care?
Yeah, I mean, what's in his locker? Gear? Okay, I have more of that.
Probably not just gear. A lot of people keep some valuable stuff. in
You would
their
leave
locker.
that over the off season? Why would you leave that?
It wasn't during... oh, true.
Even still, if it's in there, does he really care?
Yeah, he's probably got more. You think doesn't have more iPads or whatever it was, man?
Oh no, they took my gold chain. What am I gonna do?
Looks at 25 other ones.
Looks at a diamonds encrusted Rolex just sitting there.
Oh no, they took my third week Thursday of the month chain. Damn it. I like that one.
Oh man,
Now I gotta wear my third week of the month Friday chain. Damn.
there goes my Sunday church chain. Well, I'll just grab the other one that I have.
And then another news that I think is going towards what I said last week. Rex Burkhead got his contract reworked, and he's getting less money now than he would have been. I do feel like he's going to get cut. You said that he's a good powerhouse. He's making less money now.
No, I mean,
He's going to get cut.
you can rework a contract and make less money and not get cut. It's just
There's still another running back out there that we drafted last year and we never even saw it, but yet we kept him on the team.
Well, he might be reworking it so he doesn't get cut.
I feel like he's going to get cut. If this Harris kid from Alabama that we drafted last year is as good as they say it is, then Rex, who's Mr. Injury Prone, is going to get cut.
I wouldn't say he's Mr. Injury prone. He plays running back in the NFL.
No, he's injured.
It's in the
on
job
when we need it.
description.
It's in the job description.
oh, you're a running back in the NFL, so you're gonna get hurt.
How much CTE do you want? A lot or an extreme amount?
I prefer a little. That's no.
That's not gonna happen.
You're a running back, buddy. Come on, be realistic.
Unless you go home every play, then you know.
Unless you're the third string running back, come on.
Not talking about CT.
Oh wait, you're the third string running back for the Patriots. No, you're getting CT.
Yeah, you get it.
No, talking about CT. Why don't we turn this into hockey, where Crosby should have a lot of CT with all his concussions?
Oh, he's got it.
What about you,
So-
Dylan?
We don't talk about that. We're talking about Sidney Crosby here in the playoffs.
No,
and
he's
the
got
schedule
it.
going on.
He's got it.
I know, but I'm trying to transition into hockey. And
Jake DeBrusk has it.
Oh, he doesn't.
He has concussion.
You're lying.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Did you not see
Oh
him play?
yeah. I forgot about that one.
That man played through a concussion in the Toronto series.
Yeah, but you can get one and be fine.
No, he's had multiple.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And he's 21.
That's fun. Well, seeing as how we transitioned onto it,
Well, I tried to, but
let's
insult me.
let's talk about Jacob DeBrusk. Is it Jacob or is it just Jake?
I think it's Jake.
All right. Well, DeBrusk. We're going to talk about him.
JD.
So,
The real JD in Boston.
if you
Martinez.
if you pay attention to the Boston Bruins, and you are
Anyways, we're talking about Boston.
and you're not biased and you think that you don't think that they're flawless. You know that one of the flaws in their roster
Secondary scoring.
Secondary scoring. They don't have a ton of it. Now, they win because of the way they play, because they know their team, they know what they don't have, and they play accordingly. But you still need it. And he's probably their best secondary scorer on the team. Now, there's reports that he's not going to take a pay cut going into his contract negotiations. Which honestly, he shouldn't, because he's all they got.
The other way I'm going to put it is he's 21 and has had a lot of concussions. Why not make your money now?
Yeah, he's got to make sure he's going to make his money. And additionally, I mean, the window for Boston's closing.
And on top of it,
it's not a slam shut, but, it's like, it's an old window, and it doesn't really, when you open it, it doesn't really sit at the top.
It's crooked.
Yeah, it just slowly drops down. So, if you wanted to open the window, you're going to need to, put a piece of wood in there. That's like a free agent signing.
Or an AC. Or throw an AC in there.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, there you go. But their window's slowly closing, and he's probably looking at, his future, and he's like, well, we're probably going to have a couple of, maybe not bad, but tough years, because without Char and without Bergeron, without Krejci,
even
Rask soon.
I'm going to touch on that in a minute.
But you have guys coming up, but you're not going to be Boston. There's going to be a transition phase. So,
that's when the young guys that we do have that are ready
will
come up and play.
Oh, it kind of used to not being Boston a little bit, because we had a couple of seasons before this.
We had 2 or 3 seasons where we were 1 point out of a playoff spot.
How was 1999 to 2011?
I'm saying recently. And even still.
Yeah, we're talking about what have you done for me lately, because that's how sports works. We're not talking about years ago. Doesn't matter.
Has he really put up numbers to require $6-7 million?
Nope.
No. And why would you take a pay cut if you're really realistically going to get anywhere from $3 to $5 million?
Yeah, I mean, he should be asking for 6 or 7 to let the team walk him down to what he's worth.
He knows what he's going to get. He's going to get, I'm willing to say maybe a 2 or 3 year deal, a bridge deal, that's worth 4.5 to 5.
I mean, me personally, just with the way the revenue is going to be going for the next few years, because it's going to be a rocky few years in the NHL in terms of revenue, schedule, lots of things. And especially with schedule, where he's got injury history in the head, he should go for term, not for a bridge. He should go for term and lock up his money.
He should, but if you look at it his way, he wants to get paid now. So the best thing for him is he'd look to get a short-term bridge deal to try and get more money. I think for him, it should be a longer-term deal, because if he comes off this rookie contract, which he is, and he says, okay, can I have 6 for 6? You really think Boston's going to say, no, that's actually a terrible idea. I don't want to do that.
Well, they're not going to.
I think it's reasonable.
They're not going to do that, because there's going to be an argument, not an argument, but a discussion where, Pasternak's 6.6, whatever.
6.666666666.
Yeah. So, and Pasternak's not worth that. He's worth 9-10.
Way up there.
So there's going to be a discussion where the agent and management have to figure out, okay, what is Pasternak actually worth? And because of what we both believe he's actually worth, here's what DeBrusk's comparable is to that contract. Because it's just going to be, DeBrusk is probably 40% of Pasternak.
The best way, I think the best comparable would be Jakub Vrana.
Well, no, I don't mean play style. I mean contract.
No, I'm saying contract-wise, because they're kind of similar players. They're both left-handed. They're both left or right wing. They're both wingers.
Well, yeah, but you don't go off of other teams. You go off of what your roster is.
But Vrana himself, just being a similar type of player, and they're around the same age, I'm pretty sure. That's what they look at. They look at players in their age group as well as people on their own team. He's making 5.5 for 5.
Yeah, I don't think DeBrusk is worth that. I mean, well, no. He's a second liner. He's not an elite second liner, but he's a second liner.
I think that's a comparable contract to go off of. So if you're DeBrus, you can say, okay, I think I'm worth at least 5.5 because that's what he's making. And then Boston counters with, but 4.
Well, they're going to probably counter with, 2 because they're paying Pasternak 6.6 forever. I mean, Boston's in such a good situation because the way contract negotiations are done, especially if you're only looking at the guys you have on your own team and nobody else, it's like, okay, you are 40% of David Pasternak's skill level. So therefore, you are worth 40% of what his cap it is, which is not how that works because Pasternak is worth way more than his deal. In hindsight's 2020, he's probably wishing he had more money than he did. Especially since he's come up empty-handed in terms of winning the cup.
He probably does, but at the same time, it's a little bit different with him because of his pure love for hockey. I mean, he ultimately at the end of the day just wants to go out and play hockey.
Yeah, but you don't know what he's like. We don't know him personally. We don't know what he thinks.
We don't. I'm just saying that's when he explained why he took that contract. He said it exactly like it was. You can't get much purer than William Nylander should have taken the contract. And then they go, well, what about you? Why didn't you hold out? And he goes, because I love hockey.
Yeah, that's what he's going to say.
I mean, he's going to say that.
That's a hockey player interview. That's what he's going to say. He's not going to say anything else.
He got lowballed. He should have more money. He probably wants more. Who doesn't want more money?
No, I can guarantee you without a doubt that he's probably pretty bitter with his contract and the way that went. Because, I don't... Honestly, whatever he says in front of a mic, I don't give a shit. Because it's not the truth. It never is. We know how hockey players interview. That's not the truth. That's not what he thinks. Because they don't give you what they think. There's very few guys in the league that tell you what they actually think. And it's never on serious topics like that. If you ask PK about his contract, he's going to give you a hockey player interview. And that's not what PK is as a guy. Typically, if you ask him anything else, he'll give you what he thinks.
I think one of the only people that really speak out against their contract would be Ryan Reeves or Evander Kane.
Yeah, and I mean, those guys aren't even, top-end talent. So they're a little different. I mean, Kane is a really good player. And what does he make, 7? I think?
Something like that. He's also an asshole.
No, but he's doing really good things for the league.
No, he is. I'm just saying.
On the ice,
he's
on the ice, a little bit of a dick. But off the ice, he does great things. And, I mean, I'm not a Sharks fan, so I really only care about what he does off the ice. So I like the guy.
I'm also not a Sharks fan.
Yeah, so...
Well, I can be.
No, you can't.
I can't.
Did anybody
Nope, no,
ask
you
you?
Damn.
Go take a nap.
Um,
The big boys are talking here, Dylan.
yeah,
Hey, excuse me.
the hockey men are talking.
Yeah, the hockey men are talking. No, but
Yeah, how much money does hockey make over
I
football?
definitely feel like that is a valid point with the 40% of David Pasternak's contract. But, I mean, the other way they have to look at it is Boston has negotiated with all their young guys super well.
Yeah, they're great negotiators.
They got McAvoy, and it's a great middle ground for McAvoy. 3-year deal where he's making around 4 or 5, I think 4.5, 5. But on the last year, he makes 9.
Well, it's fair because I think McAvoy is a really good player, but he hasn't.
He has that prove me. He's still.
Yeah, he still has room to grow, improve, and he's with. If Chara wasn't there, he would struggle because he's not. I mean, defensemen take more time. He's not there yet. He's not a devoted 1A defenseman. I think he will be, but that takes time. It takes reps, and it takes ice time.
I do also believe he's developed a lot faster than a lot of defensemen do.
Oh, yeah, he is. I mean, he also had the luxury of being able to play college, which is a very good transition for defensemen to really take a step and play with guys older than you and
stronger than you,
and probably have some. I mean, the teams that he played against in college, because of where he played, there's
good teams.
Yeah, there's top end talent there. You know, he's not playing in a D3 school or something. You know what I mean? Like, he's playing against good guys and a lot of
Terrier. That's a very, very good hockey school.
Yeah, he's playing against a lot of future pros. Maybe not NHLers, but future pros. You know, I mean, a lot of guys that play D1 hockey, if they want to keep playing, if it's not in the NHL, they can still find some pro hockey to play. I mean, they're very good players.
Or they spend a season or two in the AHL and become NHL players.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, so he had that time to transition, and then he came in and played playoff hockey, which is not easy to do. Because
and he held his own.
Yeah, he did all right. I mean, he wasn't stealing the show, but he wasn't costing the show either. He was doing pretty much what you would hope he would do.
At 18 and played playoff hockey, and he was averaging like 21 to 23 minutes a game.
Yeah, and there weren't any blaring mistakes that you're like, okay, this kid needs more time.
And that's the perfect time for him to come up to, because Boston knew they weren't going to really make a run. So what better chance than to go, okay, this is the best hockey you're ever going to face off against. This is your best time to learn.
Yeah, then he gets to go into the regular season next year.
With that confidence.
With the confidence, but it's not as difficult. You know, it's a lot easier. He has, you know, more time because it's not going to be as physical as playoff hockey, especially in October. So he had that time where, like, you know, not to take a shot at Buffalo again, but you look at Rasmus Dahlin, and the kid has struggled. I mean, granted, he also played pro hockey over in Europe, so he also basically had the same luxury that McAvoy had, but he's still struggling.
But he also played on bigger ice, so it's a little bit tougher for the transition to come in and have that same time.
Yeah.
Per se.
So what if DeBrusque does this to prove it? He goes out in this little bubble period that we have right now and shows up.
If he shows up, because that's something that's very big with him, he's very inconsistent. He has not proven that he has the consistency yet.
Well, he's not an elite second liner. He's just a second liner.
No, but I'm saying, like, even a decent second liner will have a sort of consistency where when they're hot, they'll be hot and then they'll cool off a little bit, but they'll still come back and.
Well, okay, he's a second liner and he's not an elite one, right? So what is he going to put up? Like, 60 points a year probably? I mean, that's spaced out over 82 games. He's not going to be consistent because that's not what a second liner does. If he was an elite second liner, he's a point a game.
Yeah, but as a second liner, you still should show up and play like for most of your shifts. He takes a lot of shifts off.
Well, I don't watch DeBrusque closely because I just don't watch Boston closely. But going forward, I'm going to, since we're going to be doing this for, the foreseeable future. I would have to watch him closely over an entire game and a span of games, watch a group of 10 games and just watch him and really take a look at if he's actually taking shifts off, or is it just, he's not producing offensively, but he's still making good plays and he's making good shifts.
No, I like I said, I watch a lot of Boston games and he is one of my favorite players. So I do pay more attention to him than, say, Sean Corrali.
Yeah, and I mean, like, for me,
he makes a lot of good plays, but there is a lot of times where it's very, you could tell he's very energetic. So when things are going good, he's doing good. When they're in a bad game, he's nowhere to be seen. Yeah,
I mean, I'll have to take a look. Like I said, I mean, for me personally, first, I can't figure out why, but for some reason when I'm watching hockey with the intent of scouting, not just watching for entertainment, my eyes tend to gravitate towards defensemen and goaltenders. I don't know why.
I think, because
but my eyes,
you played goalie.
Yeah, and my eyes just don't go to the forwards first. And that's something this season I'd like to work on, where I'm just watching the whole game, not looking at any specific position, and just letting the players stand out to me as the play goes on.
I mean, I think it's just naturally you want a more defensive-minded person
Yeah.
And 2, you played goalie. So those are the 2 things that instantly catch your eye because you know more about it.
Yeah, I'm used to looking at it, yeah.
So when looking at the offensive side of things, I think you just have to force yourself to only watch the offensive players.
Yeah. Which is kind of ironic because I'm a Leaf fan. You'd think I'd just only watch the forwards.
Exactly.
Like, it's counterintuitive.
You'll
but
catch it when you watch DeBrusk. When he's on his hot streaks, the Bruins are usually doing really good.
Mm-hmm.
When they're in a little bit of a slump, he's pretty invisible. He'll go out and make a couple good plays, but then next thing you know, you barely even know DeBrusk is out there.
Yeah, and that just might be because he's not.
I think it's just because he's young. It's a motivation issue.
Yeah, he's young, and he's also just, if you look at all the second lines across the league, Boston's doesn't really stand out to you. They're not the most top end skill wise.
I mean, now it looks a little bit better with having Kasha and having obviously Krejci, who's a valid second line center. And if you throw Jake DeBrusk up there, then I think it's a decent line. If you throw Nick Ritchie up there, it's strictly just because him and Kasha play together.
Yeah, but I mean, if you have every second line out on a sheet of paper, and you're like, okay, which one do I want to pick from? Excluding Cap, let's just go off of the skill. Boston's second line's not even in my top 15.
No, I'd even take Edmonton's, and Edmonton's is going to consist of either Draisaitl at center and then who knows at wing, or it's going to consist of Ryan Nugent-Hopkins at center and who knows at wing.
Well, the way they went about it after the deadline, because Edmonton's management made some really good moves and got some wings, and for some reason one of the guy from Detroit is yeah, he got unlucky and got hurt like right afterwards, which that sucks. But you can't predict injuries.
He should be healthy now.
Yeah, but they went out and got wings and made it definitive where Draisaitl and McDavid don't have to play together anymore to win games, that was their big issue.
Not just any wingers. They're not the most skilled wingers, but they're fast. They can keep up. Tyler Ennis.
Yep.
Andreas Athanasiou, both known for their speed.
Yeah, and I mean, it's very simple with the McDavid effect and the Crosby effect. The Crosby effect is you need to have decent enough skating, not great, and you need to be able to have good puck possession and move the puck.
You need to be able to outsmart your opponent.
Yeah, I mean, you just need to be an okay player, really. You just need to be an okay player with a little bit of top-end talent. Where with the McDavid effect, all you need to do is skate and be able to handle the puck while you're at your top speed. Like
Gary Kapanen would not thrive.
yeah, Kapanen would not. He would not do well, and I thought of that right before you said it too, because I love Kapanen and he's got some great top-end speed, but every time he's at that top-end speed, he shoots.
His mind can't keep up with.
Yeah, he never goes for a stick handling play. He never really goes for a pass when he's at the top end speed. He just shoots every single time.
It's like Frank Vetrano.
Like if I'm a goalie on a Kasperi Kapanen breakaway,
Are you really that scared?
well, you are because he's got a good shot. But at the same time,
No, but you know what's going on.
yeah, I know the shot's coming.
You know the shot's coming. You know that all you have to do is just make sure your positioning is all set.
Yeah, and he pretty much generally just puts it high short side every time too. Like he never strays away from high short side. I don't know. It's Kapanen.
Goalie's just sitting there, like, taking away the entire short side. He still shoots.
That's why he's worth $3 million and not $5 million. You know what I mean?
Speaking of $5 million, I saw a couple of reports saying that that could be Tuukka Rask's new extension. They're looking to.
Oh yeah, he's expiring, right?
They're exploring a 2-year, $5 million deal with him.
At his age?
That's fine.
That's actually a really good contract.
That's a good contract.
Gives them even better chance to go out and get like a Robin Lehner type of backup starter type of deal.
Right.
I would be looking more towards, because everybody's career is going down. We're going to be losing all our key players. I'd be looking for the future more soon, more than keeping Tuca.
Well,
exactly what you're doing.
I think they've already done that though, because they have a lot of. I mean, in a past episode, which I don't think's on Spotify anymore, because
No, it's
Buzzsprout.
not. No.
When we took a break, we canceled our
On
Buzzsprout
YouTube,
subscription. So go on our YouTube, and I believe it's in the title when we talked about Bruins prospects. I'll find that and probably put it on Twitter or something. Anyways, they have a lot of goaltending prospects, and
One
they have
really stands out.
they have one that's carrying UMaine right now.
Yeah, but that's
Jeremy
UMaine.
Swayman. That's exactly what we're saying.
That's NCAA.
That makes
a
it
lot
even
of future
better.
pros. They're-
He's playing college hockey on a bad college team, and he's succeeding.
Yeah, the Northeastern D1 schools have a lot of high end talent, and they're they're playing against guys that some of them aren't going to go anywhere, and some of them are going to move on from hockey after they graduate. But they're also playing against a lot of top end talent, So he's facing good shots, and he's facing a lot of shots on a not very good UMaine team. I mean, UMaine has struggled over the years for recruiting because they're just so far away from everything. I mean, that's what happens. But, I can't even remember his save percentage, but he was consistently facing like 40 shots a game.
And
he was putting up over 915 save percentage numbers.
you can say, but they're not high danger shots. Most of them were. With the defense that they had, I guarantee you he was facing... Turn that bitch off.
You said probably.
Okay, I activated Siri. Hate to see
Yeah, I
it.
know, that's what I'm
I
saying.
guarantee you that he was facing a lot of high danger shots because of the quality of defensemen that they had.
Yeah, and I mean, even if they were a lot of outside shots, a well-placed outside shot should have a rebound.
Like, don't get me wrong, I love Tuca, but I'm just saying, like, we have two up in the age goalies.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
you also
so
have
there's
the best tandem in the league.
there's two ways of looking at it, Dylan. Boston trusts their system, their development system for defense and goaltending. Now, they haven't really focused on the goaltending development lately because they've had Rask. They haven't really needed to focus on making sure, the Malcolm Subban, I can't remember his name, but there was another goalie that could have been a consistent NHL goalie, maybe not a starter, but a consistent NHLer, and they just didn't bother to put the work in. But Malcolm Subban, he still has all the talent. Honestly, if he went to the Kings, I mean, they'd be able to save him because it's the Kings. They're really good at developing goalies. But yeah, they just kind of gave up on Malcolm, and they have two more goalies in the system who are young and have the skill.
And now they have 3.
Yeah, and so once Rask, actually, I mean, I wouldn't even say once Rask starts to move on or starts declining, they're gonna start putting in the effort now. So you might as well just get the years out of Rask that you can, and if it is 5 mil for 2 years,
That's extremely good.
yeah, I mean that
is looking towards the future. You shave $2 million off his contract, and it's only for 2 years. That's basically the window they're giving themselves to win. And on top of it, it gives you more money, like I said, to go get a solid 1B. So maybe you don't rely on Halak after his extension ends. Maybe now you turn that money into, say, Robin Lehner, where Robin Lehner's probably going to make like $5 or $6 million.
well, yeah, but Lehner's looking for term, so you'd have to.
I'd be willing to give term.
Yeah, Boston would be committing to Lehner because he's not taking another 1 year or 2 year.
And if you're Boston, I guarantee you're fine with that because you don't expect Swayman to be an NHL goalie for at least another 3 years. You still want him to get some AHL time. So
Yeah.
I think he plays this next season in college. If he starts to really succeed, you bring him into the minors and he plays 1 to 2 years with Providence.
Yeah,
Or if you're
I
full
mean,
Carolina and you take a Zamboni driver out of Toronto.
okay,
Just on that.
that was months ago, Dylan.
I know.
That was one game,
So
and it's
you lost to a
Leafs.
Zamboni driver.
Yeah, I'm aware.
We lost Game 7 of the Stanley Cup to St. Louis Blues.
GG's.
4-1. That shut you the fuck up real fast.
Hey, you done now? You done now, Peanut Gallery?
Anyways, and on top of it, you also have Kyle Kaiser, who
I believe we talked about him in that episode.
he has talent. He's just, it's consistency and positioning. And then you have Dan Vlader, who, if you need a backup, he can come up and be the backup.
Yeah, I mean, you have a lot of guys to...
So if you're Boston,
And
you can look to
the fact that they have a lot of guys is good because that creates a competing environment. When
which
you
is
have...
what Boston has been trying to use to motivate their prospects to be better.
Yeah, when you have a situation where there's just one prospect and he knows he's the only one, I mean,
He feels like he's guaranteed a spot. So
yeah, it depends how he looks at it, how he is as a guy.
his production could decline from that because
Yeah.
he might not try as hard.
Yeah, there's a chance that happens. It's not guaranteed, but there's a chance. So if you bring in multiple guys and make sure there's a compete level, even though, one's playing NCAA, one's playing in the A, they're not playing at the same league, but they can still keep track of what is going on with each other. They'll see each other at training camp. They'll see where they're at on the depth chart based off of how they do.
That's exactly what Boston's been trying to do anyways. They haven't been going out and signing superstars. I mean, as much as Boston would love to get John Tavares,
Right.
I feel like they benefited more from getting somebody like Par Lindholm and somebody like Brett Ritchie, people that will come in and help fight for roster spots, because then it makes the people that you actually want to succeed in your system come and play harder.
Right. Yeah, and then on the goaltending front, I would like to see the Leafs, for me, draft a goalie or two more, because they have Joseph Woll, who's playing in A, and he was doing all right. But again, you need to have that compete.
Yeah.
You would like to just light a fire under his ass and make him work harder, not too hard so he hurts himself, but hard enough to where he's constantly making progress and he's constantly working on his game. Because for the Leafs, Woll's the only guy who can has a shot at being a starter, and when Freddie's eventually done, taking over the job.
Which
is depends how his extension goes, but it should be a few years away.
I heard 2021, he's one of the guys that Vegas is looking at to be the backup to Fleury.
Why would Freddie be a backup? He's a 60-game starter.
I mean, I think it'd be more of a... That's the way they worded it. I really think it'd be like a Boston and like a Halak and Rask type of deal where it's a 1A, 1B.
Yeah, I mean, Vegas... For some reason, they have this weird obsession with having two starters at like any given moment.
Because their very first season, they went through like
Yeah.
17 goalies.
Yeah.
So their mindset is based off of an unlucky experience that probably will never happen again while this core's together.
Probably.
Yeah, I mean, you can never guarantee it, but they had...
It also, I mean, does it really hurt to have goalie depth?
No, it doesn't, but it hurts your cap when you have two starters and you could probably work on other positions more. Like,
Defense.
they play defense by committee. You like to have a guy that can eat minutes, and they don't,
I mean, they have two guys. You don't have anybody else on that team that can really eat minutes. Alec Martinez is good.
But he's not a, 20-plus guy.
He was only a 20-plus guy because he was playing on the Kings.
Yeah.
What else did they have other than Drew Doughty?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of options for Boston. I think DeBrusque is going to get his money.
I'm fine with that. As a player, I like him, and I think he's worth around 4.5 to 5. I think that's what he'll get.
Yeah, he's got a lot of bargaining chips. I mean, Krug's not staying. He's not. Boston's going to try, but they're not going to keep him.
Because of the current situation with COVID, I did hear that it's actually a lot more likely that like Krug or Pietrangelo, English, will stay another year.
Yeah, but all it takes is Montreal saying, "Hey, look, you want $9 million?" He's like, "Yeah, I do." Okay, all right, cool.
They're actually looking at other guys, which
dude,
if those guys get signed, what's going to stop Montreal from going and deciding, oh, we need defensemen, but let's not get a defensive defenseman. Let's get an offensive defenseman.
Marc Bergevin, the GM for Montreal, he's
Balls.
no. He's had money for 2 years straight, and he hasn't spent it. And Montreal's not a poor team, so that's not why he's not spending it.
They're also ready to offer sheet, too.
Yeah, they're ready to offer sheet, but they're ready to offer money to free agents. And ownership for Montreal is probably, and also to fans more than anything, they're like, can you have it, use it. For the love of God, use the money, please.
Because, if you look at it, what they really need is a first-line center, a dedicated first-line center.
Yep.
And they need a top defenseman, somebody that can go out there and log minutes. Whether they're offensive or defensive,
it's up to them.
It's up to them. I think they need an offensive defenseman because they have a lot of defensive depth.
Yeah, you look at, Montreal's best years previously, and that's when they had PK. And he's, when he was in his prime, he was an offensive-minded guy. He was taking the puck away from their own end, where when Price is on his game, you can keep doing that, and if you make a mistake, Price has got you. Price isn't or hasn't been at that level recently, but
due a lot to injuries, though.
I think when injuries.
He's healthy, he has played more like that Price that we know. But
it's injuries. It's probably also his mindset of, okay, this team isn't gonna help me get a cup. They're not built to win a cup yet. And every time I try to carry them...
It's kind of like that Drew Doughty effect.
Yeah, every time I try to carry these guys, I hurt myself. So why...
what's the point? Let's just suck and get better.
Yeah, let me save myself. And when we are a better built team on paper, here I am. It might be one of those things. It's hard to find a lack of effort in goalies unless it's blatantly obvious. Especially with Price where... he's not that 920 plus like he used to be, but he's still making highlight reel saves every game. So it's
you could definitely still see he wants to win, but it's just not as prevalent as it was when they had
when he was younger
team and when he was younger. But I also heard that Taylor Hall is they're one of the front runners in Taylor Hall for free agency.
Well, they're one of the front runners for everything because they have money.
That's why be a good addition, but what are you going to do? Throw him at center?
That's why Toronto was always a front runner when they had money, because they're a Canadian team, they're an original six team, it's a big market, and they have cap space. Okay, they're front runners for everybody every year. But when they don't have money, it goes to somebody else, and now it's Montreal. So until they spend that money, they're going to be the front runners for everybody.
So it's just they're apparently front runners on Montreal, and I heard that Max Domi isn't happy there.
Yeah, because they're not winning.
And they could look. Maybe they trade him.
No, they're not going to move him.
I don't.
You can only turn over guys so many times before you actually have to build a team and win.
Yeah.
I
think they're better off not getting Taylor Hall and just trying to find a center.
Hall's not worth it.
If you sign the center, you now have a number one center, and then he can go out there and guide the offense, and then you get someone like Torrey Krug, for say. You get your number one defenseman.
Yeah, Hall's a mirage in the desert. People still think he's got it because he had that one good year in New Jersey. And what has he done since then? He didn't do anything before that, and he hasn't done anything after that.
And if you're Hall, which he's come out and said he wants to win, what's stopping you from taking a pay cut and going to Colorado?
Or
another competing team.
Or just start playing good again. There's a thought.
Hey, you can't play bad if you're next to McKinnon.
Oh, there you go.
it's like with McDavid. You can't play bad if you're next to him.
Oh, wouldn't that be a bitch if you went back to Edmonton?
Imagine, dude.
But
they put him on Draisaitl's line.
Him and McDavid would be sick.
They put him and Nuge together and put Draisaitl on the first line with McDavid again.
I always complained that they traded it.
That was a bad trade.
Oh, it was a terrible trade, but
It gave Edmonton what they
But
needed.
Galaxy Brain, he trades away Taylor Hall for Adam Larson. I mean, he's fired now, so it doesn't matter. But then Hall becomes a free agent, goes back to Edmonton. Now he's got both of them.
Yeah,
Technically, he traded Taylor Hall for nothing. Because then he gets him back.
It reminds me of a trade I made in an NHL game. I traded, I think, like Mikko Koivu, and the very next day he got put on waivers, and I claimed him. So I essentially got it.
Oh my
I just
God.
got a draft pick for free.
Bruh. You love to see that.
But no, Adam Larson's a decent defenseman, and it is something that they needed, was a right-handed defenseman that can play minutes.
Mhm.
So looking at it, like, was it equal value? Absolutely not. Did Edmonton get better doing it? Yeah, they got something they needed. New Jersey fleeced them by getting Taylor Hall, but then look what happened.
Yeah.
They traded Taylor Hall, and they really didn't get much.
Yeah, I mean, the trade, when it initially happened, the Taylor Hall to New Jersey trade, when it initially happened, it looked terrible. It doesn't really look that bad. Because outside of that 1 year, the hell has he done? I mean, again, it could be a lack of effort, but I don't think that's what it is. Because that New Jersey team, when he was trying, wasn't very good, and he made it good. You know, so it's probably just not there. Because you went to Arizona, who's a better team, and has more, you know, just skilled guys. I mean, well, you had Nico Hischier and Jack Hughes, but...
No, he didn't have Jack Hughes.
No, that's right, yeah.
He had him this year, but
yeah.
he didn't really play with him.
Yeah.
Had,
I mean, they're young. They need to just, you know, work on their game and take steps. But, like, he went to Arizona where they have a pretty good team. Not real... I mean, if Taylor Hall was playing like Taylor Hall, they'd have top-end talent there at the time. But he wasn't, so they didn't have top-end talent. You know? I mean, if you have Taylor Hall producing and Phil Kessel producing...
That's a dangerous team.
That's a lot of goals.
Which, I will say, that is why I do think they have a shot. If Phil Kessel said he was playing through a lot of injuries.
Yeah, he said he was playing his worst injury ever. And I don't know if you know, Phil Kessel, over the course of his career, hasn't... Actually, I want to say he missed a game, like, right off the start of his career, and then he hasn't missed one since. Something like that. He's missed, like, no games. And he's played through every single injury he's ever had.
So
the guy had cancer, too.
He's a tough guy.
Yeah.
And he's very dedicated to the sport.
They allowed him to play with...
Yeah, let's take a look.
I was going to say, I don't think you're allowed to play with
I don't
that.
remember when he had cancer. Phil
But
Kessel.
if he comes back and starts playing like the Phil Kessel we all know, who's a point per game in the playoffs.
Yeah, he had it in 2006. It was testicular cancer. So, they'll just sign the cross, okay? Oh, that's weird. So let's take a look at how many games he's played. Yeah, so in 2006 in Boston, he played 70 games. And so that'd be around the time he had cancer. He also played 2 games that year in the A. And then he went 82, 70, 70, 82, 82, 48 for the lockout season, 82, 82, 82, 82, 82, 82. Yeah, a bunch of 82s. And then this season, 70 because the season ended. So he hasn't missed a game in a very long time. He hasn't missed a game since 2010. For 10 years, he hasn't missed a game.
So, for him to say that,
Tough guy.
It means a lot. And
yeah, I hate the narrative that Phil Kessel's not a tough guy and he doesn't like work out and he doesn't try. Guy hasn't missed a game in 10 years. What do you mean he's not tough and doesn't try?
That's the meme. He's a hot dog eater and he's
yeah, it's the meme, but some people are serious. Like some guys on TV are serious. And it's like, do you not pay attention? Like, do you just talk without watching the games first? Like, is that what you do?
Because he really, like...
If you're talking about Boston people, then yeah.
He doesn't throw his body. He's not that type of player.
No.
But you know what he is? A point per game in the fucking playoffs. That's what the fuck he is.
Yeah, and he's a consistent 30-goal scorer. I don't think he's put up 30 this year. He just had a bad year this year.
Well, but he's also playing with the Yotes.
Yeah, they are a pretty defensive style team. He only put up 14, but
even still,
Kessel,
hurt.
yeah, clearly hurt, put up 14, which isn't good, but he said he was hurt, so obviously he was.
Kessel gets you at least 25. I think 25 is
I'm going to go from 09, which is the first year he put up 30, and just keep going. So he put up 36, 30, 32, 37, 20 in the lockout year. 37, 25, 26, 23, 34, 27, 14. So he's consistent 25 to 35 goals. It's pretty good.
So, like, if he comes back and starts playing like the Kessel we all know, I think that's a very dangerous team. If Taylor Hall starts producing because of that,
Yeah.
that could be a team that makes a run.
Yeah, I think they're going to... I think... Who do they play in the play-in? I don't even remember.
They're playing Nashville.
They can beat Nashville.
Nashville just hasn't really been... I don't get why. They got exactly what the fuck they needed, which was another center.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, but
it's Nashville.
If they're all trying Arizona, they could beat a cold Pecorine. No problem.
And I think, besides Boston, they have the next best tandem with Ronta and Kemper. If both are healthy. If both are healthy.
Dude, if both are healthy,
that's a big if with Ronta.
Yeah, but when he's lights out. And Kemper's lights out. They're like...
I'd honestly be willing to say Kemper's the best backup in the league.
I mean, I wouldn't even say he's a backup, though, because when Ranta got hurt, he took over, played a starting role, and played very good. And, they're not a scoring team, as we talked about. Mm-hmm. So they won a lot of their games, like, very low scoring, which is
probably
uncommon
by a 1 or
in the
2 goal mark.
Yeah, it's uncommon in this league, in this, era of NHL. It's very uncommon to win games 2-1. 2-0, 3-2.
It's like the New Jersey Devils in the dead puck era.
Yeah. It's so boring to watch them, but they win. Which is not a good way to get Arizona fans, but hey, what are you going to do?
Man.
A win's a win's a win.
Exactly.
Also, who's going to watch hockey in Arizona?
No, Austin Matthews did. There you go. Not bad.
Touche.
Not bad. Touche.
Wait, who's that guy again? You mean Austin Matthews, 4 goals in his debut game? That guy?
Not a big deal.
That guy? Number 1 overall pick?
Like, who thought of putting a hockey team in the hottest state in the U.S.?
Oh, yeah.
No.
When he was growing up as a kid, it was so hard to find consistent teams. So in his hockey bag, he had a practice jersey of every color they could find. So if a team was short a person, which they usually were, he'd hop in and play.
Smart.
And he was playing against kids that are like, 2-3 years older than him and doing well as a kid. You know what I mean?
The hottest state currently in the U.S., Massachusetts. I'm here. Hello.
Shut up.
Please, yeah.
So, I guess we'll move on to the CBA.
Release the dog in 3, 2, 1.
The CBA. I'm happy they agreed on something, finally.
Yeah, they actually did a really good job.
And they did an extremely
Took so long.
good
Lost
job.
sport to be able to finally put stuff together.
Well, I mean, it's not like it's an owner-sided CBA anymore, like the NFL pretty much is. That's a very owner-sided league.
Oh, that's all owner.
Whereas basketball is very player-sided.
Yeah, we're a good mix.
This has become a very good mix, and the biggest thing, other than working out the return-to-play schedule, the thing I like the most is that they're getting rid of the legal tampering phase.
Yeah.
I put quotes in legal because it's still tampering.
Yeah.
But you can no longer talk to a free agent before free agency begins. And I think that makes it a lot better because if there's one thing that NHL free agency really lacked, it was
signings after the first hour.
Yeah, signings after the first hour. It's like you would get all your big signings done before free agency even opened.
NBA does the same thing with tampering, though.
So then, by the time that free agency actually opens, the only people you don't know where they're going, and it's really a surprise, is people that are like Par Lindholm.
Or people that like make up their mind at the 11th hour, like Tavares did. He took a while to make his choice.
Exactly. So, but I mean, rightfully so.
It's a good decision because where the NHL lost out on a lot of revenue for ticket sales, they're going to need to make some of that back on TV.
And they always air the free agency and draft day. And
so
they
this
do all
is
that.
a good decision because you create an environment where fans of the sport are going to stay on the TV for longer. Because
It's going to get you a lot more
signings-
casuals.
Yeah, the signings are going to take longer to happen.
Whereas, I mean, if you have somebody like me or you, we usually will sit down and watch this regardless of
Yeah.
the signings and stuff because we're interested in seeing who actually goes whether they're a big name or they're Sean Corrali.
Right, yeah.
It's the same thing with, I think it should be a national holiday, but trade deadline day.
National holiday.
I should not have to work on trade deadline day. I should get to sit down. If I had TSN, I would throw on TSN or
Just
Sportsnet or
turn on
something.
the notifications like I did with any sport.
I do, but I want to sit down and,
It's less entertaining.
I want to listen to my man Elliot Friedman, okay?
Yeah, let's
Like,
go
I do
Freed.
the
That's
same
the
thing
guy.
Let's go Freed.
I do the same thing with
Seen his
basketball.
beard.
You can't say it's a bad beard, though.
That quarantine beard.
I do that the same thing with basketball. I sit there and cry because the Celtics don't want to make a trade for people they need.
Yeah, but it doesn't... I mean, I'm not just
do I
interested in what the
cry?
Bruins do on trade deadline day, trading fucking Danton Heinen for Nick Ritchie. Anyways,
Good trade. Good trade.
um,
really was a good trade.
it's
that was-
basically just
that-
seeing everything.
Okay, that wasn't a 1-for-1 trade. You know it's not.
They also dumped the
They-
salary
I know.
cap out of it.
That was the trade before. That was a couple days before, and then they were like, well, we don't like Danton. You guys don't like Nick Ritchie.
Yeah, it was like how the James Reimer trade was a 2-part trade. It was the same trade. It just happened in multiple stages.
Because essentially it was, hey, we'll give you Nick Ritchie too, and then the Bruins were like, well, what do you want? And then like, and then
We'll
Don
get
Sweeney
back
was
to you
like,
with
okay,
that.
we'll figure this out in a minute. Anyways, like, I like seeing what goes down on trade deadline day. Like, it started off, Vincent Trocheck gets traded. I was like, what?
Right.
And then
I forgot about that.
And then later
Been so
on,
long.
and then later on, I see Brady Shea gets traded. What?
Yeah.
Like,
I will say hockey's more interested with
I love the
trades.
trade deadline day. It's,
At least during the trade deadline. Like, other sports are more excited during free agency for trades. Like, holy crap, it's last year's season with basketball. Westbrook to the Rockets? I deal with your hockey crap. Westbrook to the Rockets? Paul George to go enjoy Kawhi with the Clippers?
no,
Like, it's...
NBA gets a like the trade deadline day is such a snooze fest for the most part.
Other than when you hear Clint Capella going to the Hawks, going from a contender to what the hell is this?
But like, it's very like I said, like with NHL free agency, it's very first hour. All the good trades happen then, and that's it. Where now the free agency will last a lot longer. Trade deadline day should still be a national holiday.
Shut up.
I don't know about that. At least, like, with basketball, we had to wait for KD until the 4th of July to find out that he's going to Golden State. We had a whole thing with
Yeah,
LeBron
but-
saying he's going to South Beach.
NBA loves to have theatrics. It's a player-driven league, so they know that they'll get the revenue if they just let the players do what the fuck they want. So if LeBron wants to sit there for 3 hours and have a show just with his face on it, that's all the revenue is just his face. He's just blabbering on. Nobody gives a shit what he's saying. And then when he finally says, I'm gonna take my talents down to South Beach. That's all they cared about. They sat through 3 hours of this fucking moron sitting there
I
doing
know.
the Lord
I know.
knows what.
Nobody really cared about what he's talking about until the end. It's usually how it goes
That's
with
all I cared
basketball.
about. It's like watching Survivor. You don't care what the fuck is going on. You're just waiting to see who gets voted off. That's really all it is. You're like, okay, don't vote off the one person that I like who's getting voted off. It better be this asshole. You sit through a half an hour of fucking bullshit just to see someone get voted off.
Imagine watching Survivor, though. That's tough.
Hey, that was a kid child
The
thing,
only
right?
reason I watched it was because there was this guy Spencer on there, and that was my G.
Oh, Spencer, man.
I can't even think of my favorite guy.
Yeah, let's.
I can't.
Yeah,
That the guy that pissed in rice. That guy was so
Yes.
funny.
Okay, who the hell cares? Let's get back to the CBA.
Anyway,
14, no, not even 30-something seasons later.
and how many white moms were the primary?
That's Big
viewer
Brother,
base?
all right? That's Big Brother.
There's a difference. Survivor has a fan base, not a bunch of Karens. Okay. Oh wait, that's a racist term. My bad. I shouldn't have used that.
Leave.
But
We're training you to Vermont now for that.
Vermont.
Yep, we're training to Vermont for that joke.
I'm okay with that. They got syrup.
So there's no answer.
But on top of it, the calendar of events that's going on with the return to play was released. So we will get aired hockey games around July 30th.
Wow.
You'll get the round robin games and the qualifying rounds. Playoffs will begin on the 9th of August. Pretty much all of August and September is going to be playoffs.
What was that?
Don't worry about it.
Free agency will open up October 6th, which is usually when preseason games are being played. Not going to talk about that, though. October 9th will be free agency, assuming that postseason doesn't end with a Stanley Cup sweep.
Yep.
So a week after the Stanley Cup ends,
The regular season starts
the
back
free
up.
agency will open up.
Oh, free.
But if it's the very last possible day, then the 9th will be free agency. The 17th of November is when the 2020-2021 season officially begins.
That's gonna be a packed season.
So
There's no way they're doing 82 games.
that's when
No, they're probably cutting it
November
down because I know a lot
17th.
of sports are doing that.
November 17th will be the training camps, and the opening of the season will be December 1st.
Because I know I keep switching back to this. Basketball's not starting their season until after Christmas. Now again, that's
They get rid of the bye week.
yeah.
That's assuming that there's no delays and whatnot.
Wait,
So-
what are you talking? Bye week?
NHL gets a bye week.
Oh,
Yeah, we got a bye week.
What?
There's an offset of bye week, so half the league gets it on 1 week, the other half gets it on the other week, like the next week
Yeah.
after.
So, I mean, I assume they're just going to eliminate that, and we might not get an all-star weekend.
Oh no!
Wow, it's not.
Skills competition, man. I love it.
The majority of the players don't even want to be in it.
No, the majority of old players that want to win don't want to be in it.
It's pretty much just Ovechkin.
Yeah, it's pretty much just Ovechkin.
Ovechkin, Bergeron begged fans not to vote for him to be in it so he can spend time with his family. Ralph really didn't want to do it. He was basically clear off of his concussion, and he's still.
That's because Bergeron plays through every single injury that you could possibly have in the NHL. He plays through it.
It's not even
It's spend time with family for a little bit.
I don't know why I keep yawning, but
That might be my fault.
He's tired of your bullshit. Don't.
I mean, even young guys like Matthews didn't play. He was technically in the All-Star game, but
Wasn't he injured? That's why, or injured?
yeah,
The same thing with Rask.
Wait. Was he Bergeron injured, or was he Mike Babcock injured?
Oh no, dude! He literally just wore a wrist brace to the red carpet thing and said he was hurt.
Yep.
Dude, that's how people used to get out.
It was the weakest.
That's how we get out of swim in school. You just put a Lexi Johnston
Hey,
or
buddy.
Johnstone.
Hey,
no.
use your brain.
No.
Nobody knows who that is.
I'm saying it for you guys.
Yeah, but no, because no,
I understand.
no, you don't do that ever again.
This woman, she went to swim, and she claimed her ankle was broken, and put the very next day she put the brace on the opposite foot.
Yeah, for future reference, numbnuts.
No. Just
One, usually no one who's listening is going to know who the hell you're talking about. Second, you don't just use people by name because you don't have their consent to do that.
Hell, you could have just said the first name; it would have been fine.
Or just said this
This
lady,
person, yeah.
woman, whatever. Moron. Yeah, but we do, so don't do that.
But
This,
Naming names. I know who was involved
This-
in the Jeffrey Epstein scandal.
because this has repercussions for us because we're involved with you. So you can't do that.
That's your fault. Why are you involved with me?
'Cause you,
yeah,
we
why
got
don't you
fun-
throw him into this thing?
Yeah, I don't know.
We
We'll
just
trade
found you
that.
off the
That's
street.
all
We
you
picked
guys.
you up, and you were just good on the mic.
That's it. Just cut me. Pick up Evan.
Now we're trading your 1-for-1 for Bernie Sanders.
Pick up Evan.
Bring him in. The burn
Evil the
man himself.
Hey, we don't have his
there
consent.
is
Why are we
one-
naming him?
He's a politician.
Not,
Don't have-
nobody
don't
out of
have his
school.
consent. Don't have his consent, man.
For those of you who've been listening consistently, you'll know that I am working towards being a scout as my career. And this past week, I just got hired by a USPHL team, the South Shore Kings. I'll be scouting for them this season. And last season, I did a little bit of scouting for an EHL team, and they're a Tier 3 junior league. And this year, the USPHL is a Tier 2 league, so we're moving up in the world, boys. Moving up.
Next thing you know, he's going to be with the London Knights.
I just want a radio job.
That'd be so cool, being with the Knights.
Anything, just serving coffee, anything for radio.
I'm just here.
So, that's my announcement. Doing cool things here.
Okay, Dylan.
What lame thing did you want to talk about?
I'm going to be talking about the sports still. I want to talk about, did you hear that basketball, which I would have liked hockey kind of to do, but it's kind of dumb at the same time. They both have the same thing. They have a lottery system for their picks. Basketball is going to be playing their games for the people who aren't in the playoffs to fight for, to have those last couple of games still, and then have a lottery.
Okay, but
in Chicago.
let me put it this way. Basketball gets revenue because people watch their games. Who the fuck wants to watch New Jersey play hockey?
I don't.
If that's the only sport you got, you wouldn't want to watch that?
I mean, they're not playing for anything.
Okay, hold on.
They're playing for
You have to
number one
watch,
pick.
let's say, Ottawa versus New Jersey.
I do not want to watch that game.
Would you watch that, or
No,
would
who the fuck wants to watch that game? I'd
Can I
rather watch grass grow.
Ottawa versus Buffalo?
I mean, there's better uses of my time. They're not playing for anything. Why would I watch that when I can go find
What
games
if
on
they're fighting
the
for that
internet?
first pick?
Okay, if they're fighting for the first pick.
Wouldn't you think
Okay,
that would be
so
better
hang on,
off to
hang on,
get
hang on.
content in?
Well, hang on, though. So if they win the game, they get the first pick,
Yes.
So it's
Which-
basically the championship game for the number one pick.
which proves that they're the better team. So why would they get the first pick?
I think the team that just loses all those games should get the number. The way I think it should be is the lottery should be after the third pick. Because I feel like if you are that bad to where you're the worst team in the league, you deserve the number one pick.
Yeah.
If you're bad enough to be second or third,
I
then
said
you
they
get
should do
second
it
or
like
third.
they should do it like NFL. Like, I know they don't want people tanking, but if you're that bad, just have it by how the team's overall is.
Nobody actually tanks in the NHL. I really don't think
No,
tanking actually happens all that much.
No,
Unless
the
you're
only
because-
basketball tanks, and there's an owner that got fined for saying we should just tank.
I mean,
I'm sure he was heartbroken.
Not really. It's Mark Cuban. That was just
Oh my god.
penny out his
Mark-
wallet.
Yeah, he probably just sneezed out a couple of hundreds and moved on with his day.
yeah, I really doubt he cared. Like, at the end of the day, is he wrong?
No.
Exactly.
People
knows
tank,
he
and
knows
football
he's
knows
so
that, and that's how they get their income, because people are tanking, and then their biggest thing is the draft
Imagine being
after the Super Bowl.
Imagine being a quarterback in the NFL and you made your money by just the fact that you're so bad.
Blake Bortles?
The fact that you're so bad, you purposely go out of your way to go join a team to tank them, get them the first pick, and then leave.
Blake Bortles. They got them he wasn't even good enough to tank to get him ever a first-round pick.
Well, it's a little bit
First
different.
pick.
It's not like they signed him just so they could tank. They drafted him thinking he was going to be a good quarterback.
Is he even on? Is he still in the
No, he's at
Rams?
3.
I was gonna say. I think he went to the Rams, but did he?
I don't know.
Because I remember you saying, "Oh, Bortles to the Patriots."
That would have been so funny. I still really wish the Red Rocket was going to come.
No, that's another one.
I would have laughed.
We
so
made him look like a
hard.
clown when we played against him. Why would we?
have laughed so fucking hard because then I'd hear this fucking buffoon lose his
I'd
shit.
lose my mind.
over
I
Andy
wouldn't.
Dalton.
I would not be allowed to record for a week or two. You would not allow me to. I would lose my mind. Dalton is that bad.
I mean, it makes good content, so,
Really
you know.
does.
If Dalton came here, I don't even. I couldn't be a football fan anymore. That's just bad.
Guy would lose his football
I-
fandom over that.
I would say I'd go to a different team, but I.
Would you become a Jets
Just
fan?
hang on. Hang on, just pretend you're watching golf. because
I'd fall asleep.
No, because if you pretend that you're playing golf, then the Patriots are always winning because they always have the lower score. So therefore, undefeated season.
Galaxy brain.
How is it a negative 32 to 72?
How did you possibly lose points? Oh, you were cheating in the game, and they minus the points. That makes sense.
I know. You guys want to wrap it up?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, you don't want to talk about your cheating franchise anymore?
With that being said, folks, we'll be back next week.